All right. Wanted to share this real quick. Um, just to kind of jog everyone's memory. But listen to this real quick.
I think there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs on the medical front, particularly around synthetic mRNA. You can basically do anything with synthetic RNA, DNA. It's like a computer program. So, I think with effort that's not too crazy, you could probably stop aging, reverse it if you want. You can basically do it. You can turn someone into a freaking butterfly if you want with the right DNA sequence. So, caterpillars do it.
So first of all, I just...
That's not what I wanted to do, but he said that it's like an intelligent computer program, all right, and that you literally could do anything you wanted. You could turn somebody into a butterfly with the right DNA sequence. All right, so if you can virtually do anything, okay, so let me just say this. If you can change somebody into a butterfly, so to speak, maybe he's not 100%, whatever. It's possible with the right DNA or whatever, modified DNA. So if they can do that, virtually anything, just like Elon Musk said, what do you think is stopping them from using it to their own advantage? I don't. This is what I don't understand. I don't understand how somebody can sit back and be like, "Oh yeah, man, this will be great, man. They could stop aging. They could reverse aging. They could, do this. They could do that. They can make you stronger." It's depending on what it's programmed with. That those computer programs or those nanobots or whatever you want to call it, however you want to look at it. So what's stopping them from controlling our thoughts? What's stopping them from controlling our feelings? What's stopping them from, being able to read all your vitals? What's stopping them from being able to not predict, well, I guess predict, but to tell you, hey, you're about to be sick, you got to stay home. This, to me, is a perfect way for complete control of humanity or the human being. Not to mention it's cutting you off from God. I don't know, it's just a whole ton of shit that comes with this, man. And people got to understand that, life can be fun and life can be great, but people got to understand that there's other people out there who don't give a fuck about you, are never going to give a fuck about you, and will do anything to get over on you or to get over on a society or a whole population for that matter, just so that they can earn money or earn a seat somewhere or earn some type of recognition. You got to understand these people are being given deals. Some people, yes, I understand that some people do it and they don't understand what's going on because maybe they're just not paying attention. But most of these people who are put in place are obviously, they're trusted to a certain extent, that they're going to keep their mouth shut and go with the program. But what's stopping? We know evil exists. We see it every day. I mean, children are being trafficked, cut open from freaking, they're just being tortured. They're being cut from limb to limb. They're being harvested, like all this type of shit. And people want to just blindly be like, "Oh yeah, man, this will be great." The fact that he said that it could be literally do anything should worry the shit out of you. Why? I mean, think about it. You don't know what program that they're putting into your body. You don't know what extra programming that they put into that vaccine. You don't know none of that. And you're never going to know it because they're not going to allow you to know it. There's a reason why they, put out that, I don't know what, it's not a law, but whatever it is, regulations where they can't get, they can't go down for anything, any bad reactions or anything like that. They can't get blamed for it. They can't be sued. I'm sure they'll just have some type of, well, if you have been injured or hurt by the coronavirus vaccine, call 1-800-MY-BAD. We will set you up with blah, 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 blah bullshit, give you a little bit of money, and you're still going to die early because they don't save you. If they were a real company who was really trying to do well, they would, none of this would be happening because they're playing into the narrative, but they would, take responsibility for the shit that they do. And obviously it's not about saving lives. It's not about saving a human. It's not about curing anybody. It's all about tag, track, and ID. We all know this. That ties in with contact tracing, because think about it. They write a program that can communicate with those nanobots that are going to be in your system, and it gives you all your vitals. It gives you everything. Think about it. They don't want you to go to the doctors no more. They don't want you to go to the dentist no more. They don't want you to go to the grocery store. They don't want you to go anywhere anymore. So let's just, for instance, they don't want you to go to the doctors no more. I mean, I've done physical therapy stuff, and it was, telemedicine. It was all by video camera. Live video camera chat, like FaceTime or whatever you want to call it. And this dude, I don't know, like it was useless to me. I didn't see anything that he could have done. Looking at my back, through a fucking camera or whatever. But whatever, that's besides the point. But what perfect way for them to keep an eye. Let's just say, a person who, has bad genetics or whatever and suffers a lot of illnesses and all this other shit. And they, I guess are afraid, of something bad happening. So what they do is they offer it as something good. Well, you know what? You take this vaccine or you take this, and we'll be able to read your vitals and tell you when you're about to have, a stroke, or tell you when you're about to have a heart attack, or you're going to have an epileptic seizure. It give you a warning. It's a safe thing to where, you can drive, but it'll tell you 10 minutes, 20 minutes before, or an hour before, whatever, that you're going to have an epileptic seizure at 10 o'clock or something like that. I'm sure this is how precise it's going to be. I just can't wait to see what happens when, later down the road, when this video's been out and the shit starts coming out. Can't say that I haven't told you so. And I'm not sitting here like I'm some insider who's got some secret fucking message to tell or anything like that. I just pay attention. That's it. I don't pay attention to who's winning football or who's winning basketball or who just hit the home run in baseball. I just, shit don't do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? What makes me happy and what gets my brain going is paying attention to what these fucks are doing to us. And they're not doing anything good for us. Think about, even to the point where Elon Musk, he's trying to make a completely autonomous car to where it drives the road, wherever you need to go safely and sound. Eventually, just like the movies, they're going to be a bunch of electric cars, and you just hop in one and you go to your destination. And, not that there's just no freedom at that point, because I'll always give this example, but like, say you're trying to run from the police or something like that, you got to hop in a car and dip. You're not going to be able to do it because the car will be shut down because it's programmed. It could be stopped by Wi-Fi, or I don't know, whatever program it is, some type of program, sensor, whatever. But But even shit like that, you know, you're trying to run away from a killer or something like that, you know, you're not gonna be able to get away from them. You know, but at the same time, going back to this whole predictive, this nanobot shit, being able to predict shit, you know, they'll be able to predict your thoughts and your feelings and what you're going to do next, and if you're going to go out and murder somebody, or if you're having, you know, evil thoughts about fucking up the government, or, you know what I mean, going and shooting up the White House. You know, God forbid anybody wants to do that, but I'm just giving examples, you know what I'm saying? And this is the things that they're going to predict. I mean, the movies have already shown it, and that's what the movies are. The movies are what they're showing you, what they're about to do, but they give it to you in a fantasy perception, and it's really giving you the underlying whole message of it is showing you what's about to happen. You know, they've already admitted that they have the programming to where they can predict or pre-crime, pretty much is what it is. You know, predict crime before it's about to happen. I can't remember what company or whoever is doing, you know, using it or whatever, but they said that it already came out. So it's already out there. You know, they're just not gonna, you know, put it on blast because they don't want us to know. If they wanted us to know what they were doing, they would tell us straight to our face, hey, we're doing this to try to enslave you, and yada 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 yada. But they're not going to do that. They're going to give it to you in a music. They're going to give it to you in a TV show. They're going to give it to you in some fantasy way to where you think, oh, that'll never happen. These people are good. But you got to realize that they're not good. That's the reason why they're giving it to you, because they want you to think that. I know it's a lot. It's really hard for people to fucking grasp that shit, but, you know, this is why I do this shit, you know? I risk my life every day to give you what I'm thinking out of my head, you know, and you know, who knows what could happen in my life. I believe that, yes, I am protected, and I keep my faith in that protection, and I just continuously go and say to myself, no matter what happens, you got to keep doing this shit, because there's no other way. I mean, I'm not going to sit down and allow this shit to happen, especially if I can have some type of a voice, whether it's a huge voice or a little voice, whatever. As long as I have a voice, I'm going to keep using it, and that's what it is, you know? But people got to understand that this vaccine it has nothing to do with saving you from some fucking invisible virus. You gotta understand that shit. There is nothing out there that's going to kill you. You know, well, I say that and I probably sound fucking stupid, because yeah, there's things out there that can kill you. Yes, we all know that. But I'm saying this whole fraud ass bullshit pandemic that we're going through, it's not real. And I know people are like, yo, you are tripping, dog. You're tripping. What about my grandmother, man? She just fucking died of COVID. Well, first off, where did she get the test from? Oh, she went to the hospital and got the test? Well, boom. That tells you that right there, that you, obviously, they believe that the test is actually testing because they're just putting their blind faith into something that people have no clue what it's about. But if you read and understood from the inventor that the PCR test only amplifies DNA to the point where you can measure it, or you can see it, or, you know, measure it under a microscope, whatever. I'm not sure exactly, you know, what tools they use, whatever. It's besides the point. It has nothing to do, they've never isolated this virus and put it to a gold standard. So they don't even, honestly, you know, don't have any leg to stand on. At least that's from what I understand. You know, I'm no doctor, but I read and I can learn. So that's why I know this shit. I just get sick of people, you're not a doctor. Yeah, I don't have to be. You know, I don't have to be. You know, that's like telling a kid who loves physics and he's making a bunch of, you know, technology and this and that, and you tell him, well, you can't do that because you're not a physics teacher, or you're not a whatever, you know, inventor, or whatever the case is. Like, where do you think these people come from? You know what I'm saying? They're connected. Their ideas, thoughts, and train of thought and thought patterns are coming from a different place, to where they're able to tap in and and use those ideas and thoughts from whatever cloud, so to metaphoric cloud they're getting their shit from, and they can use it. They figured out how to be in contact with those thoughts and then manifest it into something physical. And it just really depends on a lot of things. You know what I mean? It depends on where your head's at. You know, what you spend your time doing. You know what I mean? Are you the type of person that's, you know, flooded, or not flooded, but drowning in materials? Like, all you want is nice shiny things, and you gotta be flashy, and you gotta be known on Instagram, and you gotta be this. Well, that's the ideas that you're gonna get, you know. And by all means, I'm not knocking nobody. I'm none of that shit, because I'm on social media too, but I just do it a little different because just because of the way that I think, you know. I'm not claiming to be some fucking, you know, God Almighty. I'm, you know, holier than anybody, or whatever the case is. Like, my life is fucked up too. You think you got it bad? And let me tell you a story. I mean, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to share that shit, man. It's just, it's tough. It's really tough. But I you know, I have shared it with a few people, and as far as privately or whatever. So, you know, that's just, if I trust you, okay, then I'll talk about it, because a lot of people these days, they judge you for your past and judge you for shit that you've done, and it's like, you know what, I get it, but people change and people move on, and, you know, I'm alive today, I'll say that. But yeah, I mean, this shit is way deeper than just trying to keep you safe from this fucking invisible bug that doesn't exist. You know? Just because your family member or friend, or many friends, have died from this COVID shit, or what they say that they've died from it, you know, doesn't mean that they really died from it. And that's not me taking away from their death, because yes, I don't want to see anybody die, but it's hard to talk to somebody who, you know, has quote unquote seen it firsthand, but really hasn't seen it firsthand. All you're going off of is a phony test, or not a phony test, but a inaccurate test that interprets something different other than whether you're sick or not sick. Because, like I said, Erykah Badu came out and said her left nostril was positive and her right nostril was negative, or vice versa, or whatever. That right there should tell you that the shit don't make sense, you know? They're just using it in a different way to interpret data in a different way. You could say it's a wrong way, but, you know, there's no really a way to misuse that I don't even know what you want to call it, that test, I guess. There's no really, you know, you can't misuse it, but you can interpret the data differently, you know, or, you know what I mean? And to me, that's manipulation. But that's why I continuously say it. Yes, we just got to realize that. I mean, and even to the point where I've heard that that's why they're putting all it all the way in the back of your throat, is so that they can deposit something, and then when you swallow or breathe in, it goes into your system, you know. But this shit is going to become a part of you. There's no way to get it out. There's no way to get it out once it's in. It becomes a fabric of your DNA, and you got to live with that for the rest of your life. I mean, think about, what if there is just a slight chance that something is not right, and then you find out months later, a year later, after you've gotten this shot? There's nothing you can do. There's no turning back. You know what I'm saying? People got to realize that shit. I just never thought that it would come to this right now. And I understand that there's tons and tons of people out there who think like me, you know. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that there is plenty of people in place that are good and are going to do good. They just got to wait on their cue. You know, you got to have faith in that shit. I know it's hard. I know it's something invisible, but look at all the Christian people who put their faith in God, and look at the lives they live. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's always good, but just look how powerful that shit is. By putting that out there, I believe having that faith and that intention, that and that putting that love towards it, knowing that things are gonna fix, or that we're gonna step up when we need to step up. I almost feel like it's throwing that energy out there to put it into somebody else who's gonna make the moves to be able to get into that position and do what they do. You know what I mean? For all we know, I could be in a position where I'm going to be able to do something, but it hasn't came to me yet, because I'm just living my life. And that could be with anybody. That's why I always try to say we got to have faith. We got to remember what this world is and how it works. Like, you can feel my energy, and I live probably nowhere near you. You know what I'm saying? You're getting my energy through the phone, even though it doesn't seem like it, but you're still getting it. It's still being shot out of my head into the, etheric realm, whatever you want to call it, and it's being dispersed to whoever is paying attention to my videos or listening to me and really engaging with me, and so forth and so on. If y'all think of me one day and you're like, I hope he's okay, I just pray that he keeps good, I get that. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally sent to me. That's why I always tell people, like, I'm sending my love, I'm sending this, I'm sending that, my positivity, because it really works. You just gotta believe, man. I mean, there's a person that I watched last night. She went from I think it was like anywhere from, it could be anywhere from, she was on the West Coast and it was on the East Coast, and she was able to change the acidity of a glass of water that was sitting in some random spot that she ain't never seen before. They were taking people and telling them to think about where these people just went, and this woman was able to picture exactly where they were at, what they were doing, what they were wearing, the colors around them, and all that shit. People don't realize that this world is something way different than what we've been taught. And I do believe that it's almost like a part of me wants to completely get off of social media and stop paying attention to any media, whether it's regular people or not, who are talking about this, what's about to happen, this vaccine shit, because it's almost like I feel like we put our energy and we put our fear, like, oh fuck, we're about to get, forced to take these vaccines, oh shit, and then it gives them more power because we're giving the fear to it, but I battle with that, because I think, well, what if I'm wrong and I just sat there and did nothing and I could have saved some people's lives? So I kind of just, I'm not fully on with social media, but I get on whenever I get inspired to say something, or I see something that makes me want to say something. But everyone should think twice about this vaccine. Damn well you should think twice. Listen to your heart. Research. Understand what an mRNA is. Understand, what the PCR test is. Understand why they're shutting us down, and why is it that Target and Walmart and Safeway and Giant, all of them can stay open, but the mom and pop stores can't do it because you might get sick. Gotta understand that they're shutting all the low people down, and they're keeping all the big people because they want to shut the competition down and leave just them so that they can reign, and we have to go to them. The reason why they got rid of farming is so that we could depend on them for food. They're changing a lot of shit right now. A lot of shit. And people got to understand that it's not for the good. We're going into a system that's going to be so heavily censored, controlled, and monitored that there is no freedom no more. I mean, we barely have that now. You know what I mean? If you got a cell phone, if you got this, you got that, you're being watched 24/7. Like, they could be watching through my camera right now, because some of these apps allow them to do it just like Instagram, which is what I'm on right now. Or no, I'm not on it now, but I'm gonna put it on the And you got to understand why they're doing this right now. They want to know what I'm thinking. They want to know what we're about to do. They want to know if there's people in silence, or quote unquote, and what they think is silence, that are, planning to do something, They pay attention to all of us, regardless. If you're doing something stupid or if you're speaking real shit. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, damn. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could talk for 5 more minutes. But, yeah, I mean, we just gotta come to the realization that these people don't give a fuck about us. We gotta come to the realization that they never did care about us. And they do this all for themselves. And if we don't figure this out soon, then things are not going to turn out well for us. Or at least for some of y'all. I believe regardless, I'm going to be okay. It might be hard, but I'm going to be okay. And everyone who's thinking and using their brain is going to be alright too. We just got to band together. That's it. Got to fucking put our thoughts and our hearts together and love one another and put all the differences aside and just do the damn thing, because it's coming. The problem is that it always comes in little droves or whatever you want to call it. Today they pass something, but nobody pays attention to it, and then a month down the road this happens, and then a week down the road from that this happens, and then they change this law, and then they do this, and then this, and that, blah 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 blah. And people pay attention to it when it happens sometimes, but it's when you put it all together and then give it to somebody as information is when people really like, oh shit, like, okay, I see what's happening right now. We just got to pay attention. There's a lot of shit going on. A lot of shit. And we just got to pay attention. That's all it really takes. It's pay attention. Put your energy somewhere else and pay attention to what's going on around you, because your life is literally in limbo. But all y'all worried about Kim Kardashian. All y'all worried about, the MTV. And not that I say that I don't, partake in some of the shit like that. I listen to music, whatever. But I'm not starstruck. I don't get starstruck. I'm not sitting here, listening to, some rappers every word. I just don't feed into it, because I feel like if you're not speaking about some real shit, and I ain't talking about, I'm talking about some real shit, like what's going on, real shit, then I don't have nothing to do with you. That's why I stopped going out. That's why I stopped doing all the shit that I did, because I was like, well, what's the point of me? Don't get me wrong. I would love to go to the club and cut a rug for a couple hours and, drink a couple, even though I don't drink. Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to just let loose, let go for a little bit. But I look at it and I'm like, well, what am I gaining from that? And I'm not gaining shit from it. And neither is anybody else. So I don't do it. I don't have friends. I don't look for friends. I don't hang out with nobody. Like that. I've been doing this way before the pandemic. Been doing this for fucking 3, 4, 5 years probably. But it is what it is, man. We just got, like I said, we just gotta pay attention. That's it. Focus your energy somewhere else and pay attention. Realize that they're trying to ruin our lives forever, and I mean eternally, with this vaccine. That nothing good is going to come out of this. Realize that. I mean, I'll even say it right now, that they're going to give this all to us, everything's going to be fine, everybody's going to be like, I told you so, and then something's going to happen a year down the road, or 2 years down the road, or whatever, and everybody's going to fucking break out with some fucking crazy shit, and there's a lot of people going to die, man. Why? I'm not saying I want this to happen, but I'm saying that this could very, very well be a possibility, man. I just want to throw that out there, because it very well could happen, but I'm out.